Messed it up. Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
Hey, Coach Jay, can hear you loud and clear. How are we doing today?
Doing well, doing well. It's called Turnaround Tuesday, but today looked like Turnaround Thursday. In the markets, today is Thursday, right? Sometimes you lose track of the days, but it is Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. How you doing today, Coach Paul?
I'm doing okay. Um, Lost well. Had some
Good.
winning trades, had some losing one losing trade. But otherwise, within reason.
Good stuff.
Um,
Good stuff. We will talk about the markets. I think I was in the same losing trade as you were, most likely. But welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is your first time here, I'm Coach Jay. I've been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023. I've been trading for the past 13 years, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been in with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experiences, some knowledge, and hopefully assist you in becoming a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are our chat, our audience. Let us know how you did today. Were you up on the day, down on the day? I see Matthew calling out. Did I not call the 530s 100 or so points ago? Matthew, if you caught that 100-point move, it's better than calling it. The money's green. Nice call. Let us know how you did in the chat. Are you up? Are you down? Anything that you learned from the day? Did you catch that entire short for the day? I know I was on the wrong side of the market early, but when we manage risk, we should be okay. But let's get into these charts and the markets. As far as news goes today, we did have initial jobless claims come out this morning. 226,000. Forecast was 222,000. Prior number was 218,000. U.S. unit labor cost came in at 1.6%. Forecast was 1.5. Productivity prelim came in at 2.4%. Forecast was 2%. We did also have wholesale inventories come out month over month, 0.1%. Forecast was 0.2. And that was about it. Fed inflation expectations came in at 4.3%. Previous was 4.29. Anything you got on the news, Coach Paul?
Yeah, what was the news that moved that rally last night is what I'm curious about.
Uh,
I mean, we had a big range. It was a 90 in S&Ps. It was 90, almost 93 points. But in the NASDAQ, it was a little over normal. What, you had 340-point range with an average true range of 300. But we were up, what, about 40, 45 overnight at one point?
yeah, I think if I'm looking at financial juice, it says earlier gains in the equities were pushed by hopes of de-escalation of geopolitical risk after Russia and Putin said it. Trump, Russia said Putin and Trump are finalizing deals for a meeting. Maybe it was based on that. Stocks were also bolstered by Trump's vow to exempt businesses that move production to the USA after stating plans for a 100% tariff on semiconductor imports. I think we heard the president say also that the initial $100 billion that we were hearing that Apple was going to invest in the U.S. is now $600 billion. Supposed to be building some factories in the U.S. here. Apple and Nvidia were kind of holding up the markets last night, and as long as they could, before everything else just kind of came crashing down, and bringing it with us. Not crashing down, that's a little exaggerated, but selling off for the day. Uh, Anything else you saw on the news?
Yeah, I guess India is going to get even more percentage tariffed.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know when that announcement came out, but whatever the news was, it broke hard. Was it because of the news or because we were too far ahead? I don't know. All we can control is decisions when we make our trade, when we enter our trade. So let's get to the analysis.
Let's get into it. There are 35, that's going to be annoying, 35 different markets. Let me change this over to a practice account. But you can see I did take a loss. I am still sharing the stats of this combine that I'm trading. I'll show you guys the loss that I took. But 35 different markets that we can trade with Topstep accounts today to the downside. We had crude oil down 0.79%. RBOB gasoline futures also down 0.79%. And lean hogs, our biggest percentage mover to the downside at 1.17%. To the upside, we had silver up 1.59%. Wheat futures up 1.92%. And micro Bitcoin, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 2.04%. Micro Ethereum, 5.05%. To talk about
Gotta get that in there, huh?
Gotta get it in there. To talk about our big four, crude oil down 0.81%. The S&P pretty much flat, up 0.02%. Gold up 1.15%, and the NASDAQ up 0.4%. Got an S&P chart up here. Why don't we talk about the S&Ps first? Take a look at the daily, Coach Paul. Pretty much a flat day. Closing 0.2% up from yesterday's settlement, but there was a lot more movement than 0.2% in these markets. What are we seeing here, Coach Paul, on the daily?
There's an old song says "By Way of Omaha," and that's kind of what we did. Look at that candle.
Yeah.
We traded on both, almost equal on both sides of unchanged. We still settled above the 20-day moving average. Still friendly to me. We're holding, like I said, the 20-day. Today was a funky day, but remember, we were up, 35, 40 points in the S&P when London opened up.
Yep.
And remember, that's on light volume, but still, basically a strong, unchanged day. What can I say? How about, what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, we came in talking, Hogan and I during the opening call. We were trading very well into the candle that made the all-time highs. And I realized after the fact, where I was buying this market, kind of went against my analysis a little bit, where we said we needed to find some strong buying above 50% of this candle that made the all-time high, which was at 64.12. We never got there. We're going to look at a shorter time frame and just watch that 64.12 level. Strong buying means that at some point, VWAP should probably cross that 50% average, right? Where price is going higher and volume should be as well. We really didn't get it. Extended Trip just said it. No real initiative action, it seemed, and that was exactly it. We saw some buying, but we never really got. We saw some price action above, but we never really got the volume to support that move once we got into the New York session. And actually, that 64.12, we can see it here when we go down to a half an hour chart, was the high of the New York session. So sometimes you have analysis and sometimes you don't pay attention to your analysis, and that can lead to losing days. Sometimes you have a bias as a trader. Oh, did we lose Coach Paul? Where'd they go? Where'd they take him?
I'm back.
Are you?
I hit the wrong X.
I can hear you. I can't see you. Give me 1 second. Let me get you back in here. Hold on a second. Tried to take my guy out. You can't do that. All right.
Yeah, well, that was completely my fault. I hit the wrong X. I X'd out of a window. I'll do my push-ups after the show.
Got you talking through the walls for a second. All right, but we can see, we rejected right at that 50%. Now, is 50% of these, higher time frame levels, is that a self-fulfilling prophecy? Do we, am I just marking out this level and it just a coincidence that we trade there? Whether it is or it isn't, we didn't see any volume above that level, and we can see the resistance there. Give me 1 second. Let me add a VWAP here. We can see this VWAP, this orange line, where Coach Paul said it last. Get that out of here. Don't want that one there. This orange line, we had some pretty nice buying overnight last night. 64.12s. We identified that level, 50% of the candle that made the all-time high. And nice trade last night, Coach. They look like they bought it in London. Here's
Yeah,
London open. It's pretty nice volume there. But even then, no cross above that 64.12 level. It's a little concerning for buyers here. And that should have been a early sign, maybe not to sell, but not to buy unless we saw some conviction above that level, which we never got.
yeah. Like I said, it was. I mean, it was a big move.
Yeah.
Actually, we had that first half an hour with a big range, and it held. It was kind of boring. Um, I, so whatever happened in London, we could, like you did, you framed that out, and that was urgency. Um, but as we talk about when is the when do the real players size volume come in? The New York Open.
Yes. Absolutely. And we can frame that out. Let's go down to a shorter time frame here. I also want to on the 30-minute. What's that white line, Coach?
It's something to do with 200 bars
Might be on the
an
quiz.
average.
Might be on the quiz next
In
week.
the quiz.
Uh, might be on the quiz next week. Hint, hint. Let's take a look. Let's go down to a shorter time frame here. I'm going to leave a couple of the levels that we have marked out. We saw the London Open. We have VWAP. We'll take this off here. But let's take a look at the New York Session Open, where we know most of the volume is going to come in for the day. Here it is. Another example of price trading above a level, volume not trading above that level.
Yeah.
We just
Wow.
did, yeah. When you look at it this way in hindsight, it's just like, why were you buying this? But you know, that's why we do this, so we can read it in real time. Sometimes you're going to make the wrong read. But that was a heavy market all day. And like you said, Coach Paul, that first half an hour was kind of choppy. We saw this yesterday as well, where we spent a lot of time in that first, you know, in that opening range area. And then after an hour, we saw some pretty good price action. But I'm looking at this now. There's not a great long trade here. Maybe off the lows of this range because, you know, we were range bound initially. But once we really started to get going,
Well, I would do this.
mhm.
Let's just put regular trading hours.
Oh yeah, this is gonna look even. There we go.
And there we go. All right. Look at that monster sized gap. So it happens overnight, right?
Hmm.
And the overnight volume is 90% of the time very small.
Yep.
And then like we talked, New York, it's like this is the final pickup in a poker game, and we're gonna see who's holding what. And right away, I mean, if we did like again remove the candles and just see the direction of VWAP
Yeah.
and just be patient enough. If you're good, maybe you can find a way, I don't know, of measuring that. But that to me is the DNA. I mean, what did volume do? It sold it.
Yeah.
And the more time went by, the more selling came in. Can we make that assumption here? Now we can add whatever candle, bar, line chart you want. But get an idea. We talk about filling the gap. Is it going to fill the gap? Well, if it's going to fill the gap, you'd have some structure of volume like this,
Correct.
and man, it did on a price basis.
Yeah. Today is a reminder to me to when you have when you do pre-market analysis, uh, I try to be unbiased and make a case for both sides. and maybe let go, and make a case for both sides, and then you see which one the market presents. Because although I was looking to buy it initially, we saw some buyers coming into the Nasdaq. I thought about joining them. Paying attention to that other side, right, looking both ways before you cross the street, could have been a great trade to the short side. So that's what it's a reminder for me today. My bias does not matter. It's you present two hypotheses, and the market is going to tell you which one it agrees with, and then it's our job to kind of get in line with that if we want to make good trades, right? Because ultimately we don't get to control where this thing goes. All right, but a really nice sell-off here, Coach Paul. Let's talk about a trade we took. I think we both took
Yeah.
a little later in the day. We had somebody had asked a question yesterday. Does the J trade ever fail?
Yes.
You ask and you shall receive, chat. Where did you take that long,
I'll
Coach
never
Paul?
ask that question again. Yes. But here, I took a small loss. It was one micro.
Mhm.
Now, let's see where the low was made at that time. So let's
So
get rid of everything to the right.
I'm trying to remember what time that trade was, but
N- So
is it
we
here?
see that, yeah, it's right here. That was on behind my head. We can see the volume. And here, I'll move out of the way. There we go. Now, that was good volume,
Yeah.
but wasn't extreme. But I decided I'm going to take the trade anyway. One of the things I had support there
Yep.
on my daily. So with both, it was worth of the risk. So we closed. And one other thing, the low. This wasn't as clean. Like it was. Not only was it high volume, it wasn't the highest volume of the move.
Nope. And that's a big indication, right? Some trade setups that we take are going to be higher quality than others. And for this trade setup, when that volume is higher than the open or the highest that we see in the day, it's when we see these really play out pretty well. Because high volume can also mean continuation, right? Decent volume can also mean continuation. I was on with Chike, and he said, this sell off is weird because, especially if you're looking for a long, because we never saw that capitulation move, right? It was just an orderly sell the entire day, even down to these lows. I don't know if we ever got that, uh, you know, just blow off top type of volume. The market just turned towards the end of the day.
Short covering.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I put my stop in a little lower than that. I hit it at 39 and a half. And I got hit.
It's gonna happen.
Now, my next level was when then we look at the 200 on the half hour bar chart.
Got it here. 63.41 quarter. It was at this white line here.
All right. Now, on the half hour, it never closed below that. We wicked. Nice.
What the hell just happened? Why is it there? It's not right.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I don't know. I broke it.
Yeah.
Why is that 200 moving average there? It's not where it's supposed to be. Okay, there we go. Got more data now. All right. No, it's still wrong.
Yeah. We're going to have to find a new data compiler.
Yeah. It was definitely down at 32, so something is off here, but we'll figure that out. But we saw where it was, chat. It was down at the 32s.
And so it wicked there twice. It came back.
Okay, I got it. Never mind. We changed the charts to regular trading hours. Whew.
There we go.
There we go. We changed the charts to regular trading hours. Okay. User error. User error in that case.
You'll do 10 push-ups after the show.
Yeah, I'm supposed to do 10 anyway. I lost $100 on fast markets, and Jack and I promised to do. Oh, actually, I got to do 50 because I lost $500 today. All right, I'll do those
Do a
after.
loom of you doing them and then send it. All right, look at that. 1, 2, 3. We couldn't break that 200. And just in the last hour, I decided it's worth. There's a good probability we can have a reaction, a short covering because it's holding. This was a big range.
It was
I mean, like I said, it was 82 points, I think.
92.
92 points. And
when the daily ATR is 67 points.
yeah. And the half hour slowed down. It wasn't just one. It spent 2 hours there, I think.
Yep.
So I did a 2 lot in a micro risk, 2 ATRs, and was in on that pop.
Nice trade.
But I could go back and say, man, I should have done a full mini. No. And that's resulting thinking. What does that mean? In poker, it means you're judging the results of your bet, whether it was good or not, after the results came in. I was down on the day pretty well. That's what I could afford, that I was willing to afford to risk. So when we talk about taking trades, we talk about sizing up your risk. Later in the day, if you're down, you can't keep taking the same size, or you shouldn't, because I was button up against my daily loss limit in this account. And instead of taking a full mini, I said I'll risk another $150. Dynamic risk management. Remember, your number one goal, or not even a goal, is a principle, is to save your capital.
Yep.
So, but look at that. We 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we were done. So that's 2.5 hours after that big sellout. 2 things from there. Let's put a VWAP. The first time it touched the 200.
Similar to what happened up at the highs, volume stopped trading lower. Price went, volume didn't. That's a signal. For Mr. Dev in the chat, he says, and it's okay to have different opinions than what we say. There's no right or wrong way to read these markets. But Mr. Dev says, I hate to break the news to you, Coach Jay and Coach Paul, but volume is not a signal. It can mean this or that, as you say. Mr. Dev, I hate to break the news to you. There are no real signals in these things. It's just a bunch of hoopla that we all put together to make ourselves believe that something's going to happen to a high probability. And it doesn't matter what you use. We're all guessing at the end of the day. Educated guesses for the most part, hopefully, but nothing's a signal. Everything's a signal. Depends on how you look at it.
Great quote on that is, it's a probability.
Yep.
But the one thing to understand about volume, if there was no volume, we would have no market. So volume imbalances move markets. Whether it's the bad selling, it can create great run-ups. So as a signal, no, but as an adjective of the action, absolutely.
Yep. But here we are. Regardless of how you look at the markets, manage your risk. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. All right, where were we?
We were finishing up the ES. We started next is the NASDAQ.
Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. We didn't get quite down to that 200 moving average, Coach Paul, on the NASDAQ. Maybe holding up a little bit stronger. That's going to happen when you have NVIDIA and Apple running the world. What are we seeing here in the NASDAQ?
Start the clock. When are we going to hit all-time highs?
I thought it was going to be today.
Yeah, we had a chance.
We didn't find any buyers, though.
Yeah, we had that 2-day sell-off. Seems like a month ago. By the way, stocks are designed to go up. They're doing their job. But we broke out of that range yesterday where we closed above it. We didn't have the dramatics that the S&P had. Can we say this is one of those days where it was less volatile than the S&P?
It was. Yeah, that first while the S&P, the Dow were selling off, the Nasdaq is just like, come on, guys, just wait. Like it's okay. It's gonna be okay. Don't go anywhere. And then eventually it had to break as well because everything else was selling. But the Nasdaq was not as volatile, and again, pretty orderly sell off. We didn't see that capitulation move. It was just it looked like it got a little too heavy. We have that 50% of that daily candle. Again, the daily candle that made the all-time high. We don't see volume trading above that. Actually, we did for a second. Quick second. Looked like it was going to go. But then ultimately, you do not find enough buyers. Buyers who contribute volume to these markets. In order for the price to go higher, somebody has to buy. That's called volume. If there's no volume to trade and there's more volume to sell, above, there's no volume to buy, the markets are going to go lower. And that's exactly the case here. If we found some buyers that were willing to buy, initiative buyers, we would have pushed higher, and we did not do that. So we go lower.
Finding value. Really, it came back down to basically unchanged. As we look at yesterday, when we looked at the daily, that wasn't as dramatic. It came back down probably to the fat part of yesterday's profile value, where it got slow. It slowed down. Volume slowed down. Price went sideways. Shorts needed to cover.
Yep. Yes, they did. They covered towards the end of the day. Really nice rally. Again, we didn't get down to that 200 moving average on the 30-minute, but the market did turn, kind of looked under that 30-minute opening range from the Globex session and turned around from there because we found the last seller in the market. I like the close. I like the close that we did have there. Still a pretty bullish close, especially in the NASDAQ. But we need a reason to continue higher, right? Sometimes people say stocks don't need a reason to go higher. They just do. But we're seeing a lot of hesitation up here. So something to get these markets moving to the upside. And then, like you said, Coach Paul, will be at all-time highs in no time. We're just a little over a daily ATR move in one direction to that all-time high, but got to convince some buyers into these markets. All right. Let's take a look at gold. And actually, we got some questions in here. I want to also give a shout out to Maria in the chat. She said one of the things that Lisa, Spy Gig, one of our top traders at Topstep, said was the markets don't care what I think. I do the same thing every day and just follow my process and do the same thing every day. That's how she made it to that leaderboard. I could not agree more. We'll say it all the time. The markets do not give a shit what I think. They're going to trade what they trade. And it's our job to get in line with what the market is saying. Couple questions here also. Thomas Swinton says 72 counts, 2 blown XFA. I'm assuming you're saying 72 combines, 2 blown XFAs, hold to new total. Thomas, can you reword that? I'm a little bit confused by that question, but I want to get to it. It sounds like you have a ton of combines that you've had, a couple of blown XFAs. Is it too many? Too many is going to be relative to the person that's asking, right? And what I'll say is, in all of the combines that you had, for somebody, it's going to take 5 combines to see success. For somebody else, it might take a little bit more. What are you changing in the process every time you get a new account? I'm going to be on team don't buy another account, especially excuse me, especially if you are not taking lessons from the losses that you've had, right? If you are just trying to throw money at the markets and say, you know what, I just want things to go my way, but we're not changing anything, you're over leveraging. Yeah, buying one more account is too much. But if you're taking a disciplined approach to trading and it's just not working out, give yourself an allotment of capital that you're going to spend in order to do this. It's probably going to be cheaper than just putting money into a brokerage account, but it's more so a question of the approach that you're taking to trading than the amount of accounts that you purchased. If you're just kind of just YOLOing gambling accounts, don't buy another one. And I'm saying that as somebody who works at Topstep, and we hear people all the time, oh, they make their money off of failed traders. Coach Ray and I literally ran a program for traders who spent a decent amount of time at Topstep and didn't get payouts. And one of the first things we told them is, don't buy another account unless you're willing to make changes. So I think that is more of the answer to that question.
Great answer, Coach. I'd like to add to that. You've had 72 combines in 3 years or 2 years. So that's about 2.5, let's just say 3 a month.
Yep.
What have you learned? On average, you're blowing on an account every 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks. My first impulse, I think, is you're not managing the account. And by the way, I'm not here to punish you. What you need to do is learn the lesson of managing money and trading, risk management. If you want to go in again, your focus, because you've had two XFAs, and you didn't keep them also. Start because you're at a point you're like, what am this is I've been there, maybe not as as long, but at one point, here's what you have to know: you're trying to be right, or you're trying to just make money. That's how being right is. Learn how to manage the risks, because the number one principle is to keep the account alive. So take some time off, a month, the rest of August, if you want to, and reflect on it, and study your stats and find out when you're blowing up, because you're taking too big a losses day to day. Because you don't learn that lesson when they're winners. There's a concept in the fund industry, and there's a Sharpe ratio which measures volatility in how the manager made the money. And that's something you should really delve into. Is that you're not managing the downside. You're letting the upside happen, from what I can see. When you learn that lesson, I think your eyes are going to you are going to be opened, and your experience is going to help you become a successful trader. But learn that lesson. Until you learn that lesson, you're probably going to be stuck in the cycle.
Good stuff, Coach. Good stuff, Coach Paul. Good stuff. All right, let's take a look at gold here. Gold. What are we seeing in gold, Coach Paul? We got that trend line from the all-time high. Look at where we are. We talked about this one yesterday. Look at where we are. Mr. Dev, this one's for you. Trend lines or signals? We got a signal. We got volume trading into a trend line. We could all have the same signals or different signals and all be one happy family. We don't have to disagree. And even if we do disagree, it's okay. We could have multiple signals. But what are we seeing here, Coach Paul? We got gold trading back up to that trend line again.
Well, did we close above it?
Let's see. Got to pull out the microscope. No, we did not. I guess it depends on how you draw that trend line, which could
Yeah.
give you different signals. No, we did not close above it.
Now, look, we did that last time. We closed above it, had a jump up and a failure. Tomorrow is a key day. We're either going to accept this and move to new highs, or we just turn back in. This is a key point. Tomorrow's a key day. Let's keep an eye on gold. But we haven't closed above it. Did we put on a bar chart real quick? It's easier to see the settlement.
Let's see.
You don't even know where it is, do you?
Line chart. A line chart you wanted, or you want a line chart or a bar chart?
chart.
Okay. Yeah.
Bar
I mean,
chart.
you're asking for some different stuff here. Here we got a bar chart here.
We didn't close above it.
No, we didn't.
And the last time we were here, we did, didn't we? And we failed the next day. So watch this. Okay, I'm going to put it right now. Watch gold tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't look for that first half an hour. Look for Shanghai to see what they do. It's got a high probability of making a movement either way. It's like the last hand has been dealt and show your cards moment here. That's the way I see it.
Gold was an interesting one today. Talk about by way of Omaha. It ended on its highs, but this was a kind of a two-sided market today. Dakota and I took some longs last night. If you guys were watching slow markets. But man, look at this. Look at this here. We had the Globex 30-minute opening range open up. We had some urgency on that Asia session early on.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Was that the Shanghai Open? I bet you it was.
So it's, I think, are we calling the Shanghai Open 8 p.m. Central Time?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was 7 p.m. Central Time when this volume came in.
And it's Eastern time, because look at that volume.
Yeah, so this is 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Then, so we got, whatever it is, we got 2 hours, right? 2 top of the hours. It's 7 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Central where we see a volume spike. This is 7 p.m. Central Time, an hour before that Shanghai Open. But that's where that volume came in, left that range early, and
we had, now there's a J trade.
Right here. Yep, right into,
with the big, it looks like a big middle finger.
Yes, it does.
Oh, you want to sell me?
Yeah, here is a signal here. Highest volume of the day, made the lows. I'm sure if we go down to a shorter time frame, we'll see it there as well. But when you look at the intraday price action, this does not look like a market that ended on its highs. Gold looked like it was going to sell off at one point. Pretty strong, actually. And, we had some decent selling. We had a really nice sell last night, but ending on its highs, really the rally didn't start until, a half an hour to go after gold was already settled for the day. So again, this is a market that trades all the time. We know the settlement is right around here in the middle of the day. But a bunch of the catalysts that can move the equities will move gold as well. So really nice opportunities in gold here for shorts and for longs. Let's take a look at a shorter time frame. Also, what I want to point out, one of the things that we do, and if you guys were watching, actually, let's go to a shorter time frame. I'll show you the levels we were marking out last night. If you were watching slow markets last night, one of the first candles, and the reason I took a long last night was this candle right here. Somebody asked me why I mapped out this candle. It's because of volume. The market was pretty quiet, and we have the 7 p.m. Central Time, which is normally looked at as the Asia session open. It was okay volume, but then we had this move right here that led to a build in volume. We can see the volume kind of waxing here, right? We have 413 contracts, then we keep adding as price goes higher. The market respecting the initiation of this move, 34, 38, 40. And again, this is a level that we marked out last night because that was the start of the move when that volume picked up. Is it a coincidence that we never traded lower than that price, even on this huge sell-off that we had? 4,000 contracts traded in a 3-minute period. Where did it stop? Where that initial buyer came in last night. And then we have that J trade, Coach Paul, right here. It wasn't the cleanest one either. We did close above, but this is why we normally set risk on the other side of that candle, because, sometimes that candle is going to be a pretty big one, right? That's a 17-point range on a 3-minute candle. That's a lot of risk in gold. And that's a pretty expensive trade, but ultimately it was the low of the day from that point.
Well, one thing, look at the volume on that. Wow. Another thing is it's a higher time frame. We usually look at J trades in the 3-minute. This is a 30-minute. So
No, this is a three.
That's a
That's a
3-minute?
3-minute candle. Yeah, there was some news that came out in the middle of the day, and I was on air doing fast markets, and it looked like gold was just going to sell off. And damn, can anybody remember what that news was? This was right around 10 a.m. Central Time. I can't remember what it. I know Bostic was speaking around that time, but it was just a huge amount of selling. And what did we talk about yesterday, chat? Anytime, and I actually did it. I was responsible for it today as the host of Fast Markets. I'm like, oh, hey, gold's selling off here. Remember what we said yesterday? As
It
soon
was
as
in the treasuries.
in the treasuries, as soon as you hear that reaction, there's a potential trade to look for. And here it was. We had that high volume. Everyone's reacting, oh, gold's selling off. It's the end of the world in gold. Then what happens? That volume is not sustainable. We close above it, and that's your trade, right? Now, was it the cleanest trade? No. But if your risk was on the other side, it still worked out for about a 2-to-1 trade. So,
Ooh, that trade makes me a little more bullish because, well, here's why. Because of that high volume,
yeah,
some big sellers came in.
yep,
There's if you ever read Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, um, if you haven't, pick it up. But there's a great quote in there, amongst many great quotes, but one I'll never forget. He who sells what isn't his'n buys it back or goes to prison. And I see something like that, and it reminds me of that quote. Look at the volume. This wasn't just some selling. This was big selling. As we
yep,
talked before, let's say I'm the paper and I sell you 500 gold.
hmm
And just because you're a big trader, a big guy, you take that 500 and you hold it and you look and you don't see any more selling from the customer.
yeah,
You're golden. You're golden because there's no follow through. So whoever sold that was a bad sell. I don't know why. I don't know. Whoever sold it is. I shouldn't use that vernacular. Let's say the sellers there, whatever it was high volume, and they never ever saw daylight. That's why I'm kind of more bullish overall. Like there was some buyers are lurking in there.
yep. We found them.
Yeah,
We found them. They were ready to go.
is that 2-to-1?
We ran out of time.
Uh,
We ran out of time. 1.73 to 1. I'll take that on this big of a move. That's a 30-point move from that high. Again, that's a lot of risk. With a one lot, you're risking $1,700 here on a mini, but we can trade micros, $170 to make 300.
Once again, gold is the best place to trade right now.
I really agree. I really agree. even in a market that on a higher time frame is still pretty range bound, it is providing some of the best opportunities to trade right now. Let's see what happens with this trend line, and we'll go from there. Let's see, trend line. See, depends on where you draw it.
Yeah.
Where do we connect it? All right. Let's move over to crude
That's
oil.
why I
Go ahead, Coach Paul.
let's do this. Use the line chart.
Way different story. Now we're here. If we look, because the line chart is going to just take in the closes, right?
Yep.
Different story.
Now, why? Because the close is more important than a price, a high price.
Yeah.
That's where it was settled. That's where the short-term traders, the day trading, the market makers, they're out. They're not holding the position. This are where the money's at. If you're holding it, that's why the close, or I'll call the settle, is so important, because that's, those are the strong hands, so to speak. Wow.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I just changed my plans tonight. I'm watching gold.
There we go. There we go. All right, let's take a look at crude oil here. Continuing to sell. Crude has not been such a bad trade either. Let's look at crude on the daily. I'll pull up these moving averages. What are we seeing here, Coach Paul?
We're still breaking. Did we close under the 200-day moving average?
Yes, we did.
And we closed a bit lower. Yeah, the trend is down now. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, and I don't know. I'm not going to trade it. Why I'm suspect on that? The ranges every day are getting smaller, and that looks like compression. If for any reason the buyers come in, right, and think of the beach ball effect. You're pressing a beach ball and you lose control. It doesn't go gently. Although technically it's right at the 200, under the 50 and the 20. But let's go to the lows of the big move. Mark out that low of that candle when we broke, what, $7 in 2 days, $9 in 2 days, where we still have support in this area. Let's look at the half hour.
Let's take a look at the half hour in crude oil. Take a look at last night. Looks similar to gold, two-sided trade again. We had decent rally overnight, some buying in Asia. We get to, this is weird little market here.
Well, look at the average true range. You can see the volatility is coming down. It's getting squeezed.
Yep.
In other words, the range is getting smaller and smaller. If I'm an option trader, I might buy some straddles here. In other words, I think it's something. I'm not saying it can go either way, but when it does, it's going to pop, volatility wise. So
yeah. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me find this thing here. Mr. Dev, I want to extend an invite. Please come on the show with us and trade with us. That is not me being sarcastic. Really wanted you to come on, right? We love when people have different opinions. Shout out to Travis, who was on the show a couple of days ago. And Andre said, hey, doesn't news matter? Nope, nothing matters. Nothing matters but my system. He said a bunch of words that I did not know the meaning of, but it was a way to look at the markets. we try to stay focused on what we're talking about here. But if you want to come on the show and talk to us about your trading, please do. Please fill out that casting call. We're always looking for new traders to come on. So please do so. All right, crude ending the day on the lows. We haven't traded down here in a little bit. Closed
Yeah,
down here.
yeah. If you look at that daily, yeah, we haven't closed since we've had that big move down in 2 days. Now, can we consider that support? Yeah, on a price basis. So, I'm not trading crude, but I don't. It could. I think it's a big move's coming. I don't. It seems contrived that we've had 1, 2, 3, 6 days of selling. For all you statisticians, how many days do we have? 6 days in a row of lower prices.
In crude oil.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was
All right.
early
What
April,
happened?
and we bounced.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I'll let the crude oil traders
I'll stay out
trade
of that
both
one.
sides.
Yeah, that's what I see here. All right, we went through all big four markets, Coach Paul. The euro was on your scouting report yesterday. Anything on your scouting report for today? Euro
Yeah,
looks
I'm
like it
still.
had a pretty inside day. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had an inside day. Look at that. Now that's a selling candle. Look
Hmm.
at it with a very small range. And look at the volume. So yes, look at. Oh, can I mention volume again?
Yeah, say whatever
Um,
you want.
all right. On the daily, look at that volume of the buying. What did it do? Turning this market around. We're
Yep.
holding those highs. We're again over the 20 and the 50. Let's look at the half an hour.
An hour. This looks a lot like that gold chart, which makes sense, right? Gold, and some of these currencies are going to move. I'm curious to see what the dollar did, but gold and some of these currencies are going to move very similar. We saw at the exact same time that we saw that gold sell off, we had it in the euro as well and recovered. Maybe not as great of a recovery as we saw in gold, but similar price action here, more two-sided trade.
Yeah, very good call there. I mean, similar. That looked like gold, and it looks like gold because the dollar looks like it's about to turn around and weaken again. Why? I don't. Doesn't matter to me. I don't know why. I have some suspicions, but on the half hour, we finished toward where we're there. There are the highs of the day. Let's see what happens. So last night, what what happened in Europe?
Let's take a look, and you did point that out, right? We should be paying attention to the euro obsession if we're going to be trading the euro. Initial spike. Remember? Yeah. The spike came an hour later. Maybe we did have some news. I think there was some news, between Russia and the U.S. But on that Europe Open, 2 a.m. Central Time, initially there was a long, some buying coming in, and then a big spike of selling at the highs, and we got a sell side J trade. We don't see those often, but ton of volume up at these highs. We closed below it. If we're looking for a volume signal, this is one of them. Ton of volume at the highs. We closed below it and sold for the rest of the day. And volume continued to hold this market down every time we came back up to VWAP, another opportunity to sell against it until we closed above, and that was it, right? The sellers stopped. We see this VWAP start to flatten out a little bit. Interesting trade
Look
here.
at those spikes of volume.
Yeah.
Was that the U.S. Open?
No, this was whatever that news came out in.
Again, that was huge volume. Wow. Now, with that, we go back to the European Open.
Euro Open is right
Oh,
here.
the spike.
Spike of volume
So,
right here.
yeah, that spike of volume. which is this is the sell J trade, not the buy, which is it's the last seller. Excuse me, the last buyer was up. I've been that person. It's a painful thing. Um, Now, once we see that, think about this. There was a big amount of buying there. I don't know. Maybe it's because my days on the trading floor. This is what volume is. There's some big trader comes in and he doesn't bid it. He's not bidding it, and it's not getting filled. Comes in and says, I'll pay 7 for 100. I'll pay 8 for 300. I'll pay 9 for 1,000. And it gets filled and he stops.
Yep.
And once he stops, and that's at the highs, there has to be some other entity that's going to take that volume higher. Or once that's the last buyer, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
That's that when I see those that kind of move, I flash back. Like I said, I was talking today on TopstepTV about when I was in the bond room. It was the loudest room. It was I guess someone measured it. It was at as much when it's busy. It's the decimal of a 747
Oh wow.
taking off. Yeah, all of a sudden it would do that, and it would get real quiet
Hmm.
real quick. Now think about this is audible volume.
Right. Drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I all of a sudden that would stop, and it was a great scalp for me. I'm like, oh, that buying stopped. It should be worth 5 ticks. It was basically worth around 5 ticks. So that's why this makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
If it doesn't,
That's okay.
don't.
That's okay.
It's fine.
There's a ton of different ways to look at this thing. All right, we are coming up on time here, Coach Paul. Anything you got before we go and send everyone over to Coach Hoop?
I'm watching gold. That's on my scouting report, and the euro currency. Let's see how they rock tonight.
Awesome stuff. Can we look at ZB Head and Shoulders 5-minute, 2-minute sell off auction today? Let's take a look at ZB real quick. 5-minute chart on ZB. I usually when we get to treasury products, I usually don't look at anything under a 30-minute just because otherwise it looks like something's wrong with my screen. But let's see. I guess I could see the head and shoulders here, right? Maybe this is a shoulder. That's a head. This is another shoulder here. What are we seeing here? We're above the daily on the 200. Sorry, we're above the 200 on the daily.
Below it on the
Below it on the half hour.
but the head and shoulders. Where are we seeing the head and shoulders on the half hour? Ooh, what was that?
Oh, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
All right. This thing here was that crazy sell off yesterday, but yeah, we're seeing the volume. The head and shoulders on the 5-minute. I guess. And what I'm seeing, and again, guys, I'm not the head and shoulders guy. When I look at chart patterns, I do not see. It's hard for me, right? And this is why you hear me talk about volume all the time because people will say, "Oh, it's a head and shoulders. That's a signal." For me personally, I have no idea how to trade a head and shoulders, right? So this is why I'll always say, trade what makes sense to you. Is this the head and shoulders that we're talking about, Coach Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the ways to look at a head and shoulders is put that line chart.
Okay. That might help.
Yeah. So it's easier to see on a line chart. Yeah, on a 5-minute. And by the way, it's under the 30-minute. This is after the auction, right?
Yes.
No, and
The
it wasn't
auction was right here.
that big of a day. If someone didn't say there was an auction, you'd be like, "Oh, it was a nothing day." I mean, but if that's the pattern you look for and you find it and you have your risk, take the trade. I guess it would be a sell. Looking at the half hour, I kind of agree. I think it's kind of heavy.
Yeah, looking at that half hour, back under the 200 moving average. Interesting. How many traders do we have here that trade the treasury products? Some of the most liquid markets that we have in the world. Let us know if you're trading them. But I got nothing else. I know Coach Robert is doing a class in Discord right now. Actually, I think he is. Nope, doesn't look like he is. But Coach Hoop is doing one in about 12 minutes or so. Then we have Coach Ray and Coach Vince, 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. And then Coach Dakota at 7:30 p.m. tonight. Baron is going to be on with him. They're going to be talking about their combine challenge and the challenge for both of them to get back into live accounts. Shout out to both of those guys doing that in front of everybody. It's not the easiest thing to do. There's enough pressure with trading anyway, but they are showing us their journey to get back into those live accounts. So show them some love during slow markets tonight. Aaron with the London Open tomorrow, 1:30 a.m. Central Time. No D Euro trade because tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Can't wait.
Tomorrow's Friday. Wow.
Week went by pretty quick. Can't wait though. Tomorrow is Friday. Capital Preservation Friday. Capital preservation every day. Don't do anything crazy. Let's last time just check real quick if we have anything on the calendar. Not a lot on the calendar is tomorrow. Canadian employment change, unemployment rate. So maybe a quiet day, but we also have the U.S. Russia Ukraine deadline is tomorrow at midnight. See what that means. Got an eye roll from Coach Paul.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna say anything, but I am having tacos for dinner.
There we go. Taco Thursday. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We appreciate you all being here, every single one of you. If you can do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button on the way out. We will see you all tomorrow to wrap the week. Coach Paul, thank you as always. Andrew, thank you. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.